बोले परम पूज्य परम वंदे मास्तु स्वामी जी की जय। श्री बाबा आशुतोष स्वामी जी महाराज की जय। श्री आशुतोष भगवान की जय। सच्चे दरबार की जय। My brothers and sisters, today by the divine grace of our Guru Shri Master Swami Ji and Shri Baba Ashtosh Swami Ji Maharaj, we have the opportunity to listen to satsang. They say, "Bade baar mile satsang," that it is only the fortunate who obtain satsang, who listen to satsang. Because in our lives, we are as lost sheep. We are wanderers. We have no idea where we're going, why we are here. And that's why Kabir Das says that we should all ask ourselves 5 very, very simple but quite profound questions. तुम हो कौन, कहाँ से आए, क्या है निष्कर तेरा, क्या कारण तुम पर में तोड़े तन तज कहाँ बसे? That who are you? Where have you come from? Where is your destination? Where will you go after this lifetime? And where is your final destination? Because the first question is fundamental. Who are we? Are we this physical body? Are we simply a construct of this brain, of this mind? And many in the West are happy to fixate that we are simply chemicals. We are simply electrical impulses, hormones. That everything that we are is simply our brain and nothing more. However, our Rishi Munis, when they went in search, when they went to find answers, they went past the stage of the mind, past the level of intellect, even past the level of ego, and they reached the divine, ever-present, eternal state of the soul, of the Atma. That unchanging, fixed identity is your truth. And when a sadhu, when a bhakt fully realizes who they are, then they are no longer trapped in the cycle of life and death. That's why in our Shastras, in our Veds, Yajurved in particular says, Veda mehetum purukum mahatum aditya varnam tamsa parasta tumeva vidyate mitya meti nanya panta vidyate yanaya. That I have come to know that Almighty, who is pure, who is bright as the sun, and in knowing Him, my fear of life and death has vanquished, has been destroyed. Ananya Panta Vidyate Yanaya, that there is no other path to such a realization. There's only one path, and that is to know that one Almighty. We all believe that we have our own paths and our own ways. And even Swami Vivekananda says that all religions are different expressions of the same truth. As glass of different colors will project different lights. But the light is the same coming in. It's simply the lens that changes its reflection. But what that light is inside of us, that is expressed in different ways. The way that I express it, the way that you express it. That light is the same. Once we know the light, then we do not get fooled by the expression. The differences that we believe between ourselves and others is because we have not known that eternal light. In knowing that light, all distinctions, all me's and you's, all hatreds end because The truth is that there is no separation. We are all of one light, all of one source. That is our truth. When Swami Vivekananda went to the World Parliament of Religions in 1893, he carried this one simple message. He didn't come to prove that Hinduism was the greatest of religions. He came to prove that all religions are one. That all religions essentially are one truth. And that one truth is that there is one God. And in knowing Him is our salvation. And then somebody asked, well, what about the Buddhists? The Buddhists don't believe in God. They are atheists. What about the Jains? They are agnostic. They have no identity of God or no God. So how can you say that they too are going on the same path as Hindus, as Christians? He says that in Jainism, in Buddhism, they are still seeking to take the man into God. For the man to evolve into God, which is the goal of all religion. Our goal of religion is to take us beyond this limited human life and to take us into our divinity, to make man into Superman. That is what the goal of religion is. That is what happens when you connect with the Almighty. You become one with Him. And therefore, as the droplet of water and the ocean are distinct only while the droplet is separate from the water. But when the droplet merges with the ocean becomes its identity. In the same way, once we realize our truth, once we realize that we are of that same light, then the distinction between us and the Almighty fades, and we become truly who we are meant to be. Because this illusion that we are living in, this illusion of this body, this illusion of identity is the thing that stops us from reaching our great state of divinity. That's why it said, that when there was me, when there was my identity, then there was no God. And when there is God, then there is no me, there's no ego. And all my ignorance, all that darkness that was blocking me, disappeared when I saw that light. Because the true form of God is light. That's why they say, Sej Prakash Rupa Bhagavana. Shri Goswami Tulsidas says that God's form is Prakash, is light. In the Gurbani it said, Narayan Sabbe Nivasa, Narayan Kat Kat Prakasha. That Narayan, God, is in everyone, and His form is light, Prakash. In the Bible it said God is light, and in Him it said there is no darkness at all. In all the scriptures, in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Jyotisham apitas jyotish tamsa paruchite. That I am the light of all lights. So as you can see, all our scriptures point to this one eternal truth that God is light. That God is not shaped by any form. We might try to bind Him into Buddha or into Jesus or into Guru Nanak or whatever gurus have come, but they have always taught that we are simply a form at this time, but our true form is that divine light. That our true form is light. Know that light, know that divinity. Because when we try even logically to think about it, when we look at Sri Ram, when we look at Sri Krishna, when we look at Jesus, when we look at Guru Nanak, when we look at any saint that has come, they have not necessarily in the external mannerisms being the same. Sri Ram had only one wife. Sri Krishna Bhagavan had over 1,000 wives. Jesus taught a path of forgiveness, and Guru Gobind Singh said that it is necessary to fight. So all of them seem to follow different ideas, but the essential truth was light, was that they each said about knowing God. So my friends, how can we walk on that path until we too have seen that light? That's why we need to be inspired by those who have come before us. One of the great inspirations for any disciple is the story of Meera Bai. Meera Bai, who in her life had all the comforts of a princess, all the comforts that come with royalty, and in her love for her Sri Krishna, that she had her murti, her statue, that she would doubt on, she would love ceaselessly. And because of her love, because of her devotion to Sri Krishna, one day Sri Krishna appears to her. Sri Krishna Bhagavan appears to her and says, Meera, because of your love, because of your devotion, I have appeared. Meera, feeling blessed, feeling inspired, as we can all imagine, if Sri Krishna Bhagavan appears before you, who you have so steadfastly loved and prayed to for all those years. But then when Sri Krishna Bhagavan appears, he gives Meera a message that, hey Meera, why are you fixated on this form of mine? I left this form in the Bronze Age, in Dwapara. Know my true form. Jyotishamabhu, that undelightable light, to know that light. Then Meera asks, how? Can you show me? And Sri Krishna Bhagavan says that you will have to go to the Pura Guru, the perfect master of this time. This is an important message. So I want this to be clear for everybody who's listening. The perfect master of this time. Sri Krishna Bhagavan, when he came, was the perfect master. And it's proven in the Bhagavad Gita that he was the perfect master because Krishna gave Arjuna that divine knowledge, that Brahmya, that Tadviti, by which he saw God within himself. Where he saw 1,000 houses, suns inside himself, Divya Surasasasya. And then beyond that, many divine visions. There and then he passed the litmus test of a perfect master because he showed Arjuna that true light, that divinity within himself. So Krishna was the perfect master, but Krishna here says that of this time, you need to go to the perfect Guru of this time. So then she asks, then who do I go to? And he guides her and says, go to the Sharan, to the abode of Sandavidas. When she goes to the abode of Sandavidas, her mind plays tricks on her. She, being a princess, is going to the abode of this poor man, of a small hut in the middle of a jungle. And in her mind, thoughts start playing on her, as happens to any disciple who is walking on this path. Because to reach a perfect master is not such an easy thing. Your mind will always play tricks on you. Your mind will always pull you away. Because only to truly know those who truly want God will have the perseverance to go all the way. They say knock and the door will be opened. But you have to first get to that door. You first have that will, that courage to at least knock. Then when Meera knocked, Saint Meera Bai opened the door. Meera was unsure of herself. And Saint Meera Bai calmed and said, Meera, you've come. And Meera asked, how do you know who I am? And then Saint Meera Bai smiles and says, the one who sent you also told me you were coming. That the one that you've been talking to, I know him. And there, her doubts, her fears were alleviated. And then she came in, and then from Saint Meera Bai she got the Brahmya. Now Meera Bai, once she received this Brahmya, once she received this divine knowledge, once her Trisi Nitra, her third eye was opened, and she's seen God within herself. What did Meera Bai do? Meera Bai is told she meditated, she spent time in the ashram, listened to Saint Meera Bai. But then Saint Meera Bai, her guru, told her, Meera, carry this message out to the world. People need to know about this divine knowledge. People need to know that God can be seen and God must be seen. And Meera, taking the words of her guru, following the words of her guru, she went out and preached. It's important here to understand the time. Meera here is a woman on her own. In a time when the Mughals were occupying large parts of India. At this time it was very unsafe for a woman, especially alone, to be travelling. But she was clear to us that my guru has told me to go and preach this message, so she went. And she preached this message, and there is a bhajan that's so beautifully written that captures the essence of Meera when she went out and carried this message. ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा होगे मगन, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा होगे मगन, वो तो गली गली हरि गुण गाने लगी, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा होगे मगन, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा होगे मगन, वो तो गली 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 गुण गाने लगी, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा होगे मगन, महलों में पली बन की जोगन चली, महलों में पली बन की जोगन चली, मीरा रानी दीवानी कहाने लगी, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन, वो तो गली गली हरि गुण गाने लगी, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मन, कोई रोके नहीं कोई टोके नहीं, मीरा गोविंद गोपाल गाने लगी, कोई रोके नहीं कोई टोके नहीं, मीरा गोविंद गोपाल गाने लगी, मीरा गली गली हरि गुण गाने लगी, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन, बैठे संतों के संग रंग मोहन के रंग, बैठो संतों के संग रंग मोहन के रंग, मीरा प्रेमी प्रीतम को मनाने लगी, वो तो गली गली हरि गुण गाने लगी, ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन,
ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा होगी लगन ज्ञान दे विष दिया माँ ने अमृत पिया राणा ने विष दिया माँ ने अमृत पिया मीरा सागर में सरता समाने लगी ओ राणा विष दे दिया माँ ने अमृत पिया राणा विष दिया माँ ने अमृत पिया मीरा सागर में सरता समाने लगी वो तो गली गली हरि गुण गाने लगी ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन दुख लाखों से मुख से गोविंद कहे दुख लाखों से मुख से गोविंद कहे मीरा गोविंद गोपाल गाने लगी वो तो गली 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 हरि गुण गाने लगी कैसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन वो तो गली गली हरि गुण गाने लगी ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन मैलों में पली मन की जोगन चली मैलों में पली मन की जोगन चली मीरा रानी दीवानी कहानी लगी ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन वो तो गली गली हरि गुण गाने लगी ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन ऐसी लागी लगन मीरा हो गई मगन. In this bhajan, it is saying how Meera had this enthusiasm, this lagan to go and spread this message. And when she spread this message, she was no longer this princess, the one who lived in palaces, who lived in luxury. She was now this woman out spreading this message, sleeping wherever she found room, living in, potentially in sleeping on the bare floor. But she had this lagan, this conviction in what she was doing. That she had so many challenges on her path, but throughout all her challenges, she kept speaking, kept remembering Gopal, her Ishwar, that God she was constantly connected with. And even when Rava gave her poison, she took it as Amrit, because the story goes that when Rava entrapped her, put her in prison, while she was in prison, he said to the guard to tell her that some prasad, some food has come from your guru. When Meera hears about this prasad coming to her, a prisoner who has an affinity, a love towards Meera says, Meera, don't eat this. I can't trust that what has been given to you. Meera says that if this is my guru's prasad, if this is my guru's food, then I have to eat it. And then, before she ate it, she did simmer, she joined her guru. And because of her devotion, because of her love, when she ate that food, where poison was placed into it, it did not affect her. Because she, with her devotion, because of the power of her connection, because bhakti means connecting, her connection with God, she was protected. She went through so many struggles. She was alone out in the mid trying to preach the truth. And whenever any saint has come preaching the truth, they have always faced obstacles. Jesus, when he preached the truth, was victimized, was even put into a cross, tortured because of the things that he was trying to teach people. When Sant Kabir Das went out and preached, they bound his arms, threw him into Ganga, but the shackles broke and he was safely pulled to the side. He's found meditating calmly on the banks of the Ganga. All the saints have had to fight struggles. All the saints have been pushed. Swami Vivekananda, when he goes to Chicago, he gets there early. He doesn't know all his money is spent. There's a situation where he has to sleep in a box out in the cold, when it's -degree temperatures. So there's struggles of all the saints in spreading this message, but those struggles have never stopped them. Meera Bai was not stopped by the struggles she faced because she was focused on her goal, which was to carry this message. She went to every road, every person, every door. She carried this message, and that's why Meera's name is known to this day. This is the folks that we should be aspiring to. They're the ones that we look to. But Meera, her story starts when she came to the abode of Sant Ravidas. Before Sant Ravidas, Meera was a princess who loved Shri Krishna Bhagavan. That was all. But when she got this divine knowledge from Sant Ravidas, then Meera becomes a bhakt. Then she becomes a true devotee, true preacher. And then she goes and carries this message out to the world. Swami Vivekananda knew all the Shastras. He knew the Veds, the Upanishads, the Gita, Ramcharitmanas. He read all the scriptures. There was no doubt about his intelligence, but he was simply named Narayana. When did he become Swami Vivekananda? When he went to the abode of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahans, when he obtained this divine knowledge, and then he was able to go to Chicago. Then he was able to go into the West and carry the flag of Hinduism out into the world. All of this starts with that divine knowledge. Once you know yourself, once you know your true identity, then you carry that message forwards. There's your power. Because when this body dies, all the organs are there. All the things that you think are important are there. But the body is dead because the thing that is powering it all is gone. In this life, we need to know what is that truth of ours that is powering us. That's what they say, Jivat Samjit, Jivat Pujit, Jivo Karva, Jivat Mukti Ki Kari Moy Muktiyas. That in this life, seek mukti. Because when that time comes when you have to leave, it's too late. When you're thirsty, you do not start building a well. You build the well so that you will not have to thirst. In the same way, we need to seek mukti now, we need to seek truth now. Because when that time comes when we will have to leave, then that time we will not have the opportunity we have now. Marantan dulab hai, milan na bar bar, jo pal baki pure ke bo na lage ta. This human body is a gift. But like a leaf, like a flower, like a fruit, when time is up and it falls from that tree, no matter how much power you have, you cannot put that flower, put that fruit back onto that tree. In the same way, when our time is up, our time is up. So the question is that what are we doing with the time that we have been given? With the time that we have been given, what are we doing with it? And that is a question we each have to ask ourselves. Because this human body, this gift of God was given for one reason. And that one reason is to meet the Almighty. That's why it said, Ve Prapat Tamanu Kudurya Govinda Vinaki Etiri Bari Agar Kaj Kitina Kam Mil Saat Sangat Panchkeval Nam. That this human body was given to you so that you can meet God. And if you cannot find any answers, go to those people that Sangat, where they recite that one name. That name that cannot be spoken. That name that always resides within your breath. That name that is in all the scriptures. In the Bible it said in the beginning was the Word was God, and the Word was with God. In the Guru Bani it said, Sangat aisi janiye jo eko naam bitahe, eko naam hukam hai, nanak sadguru tiyo baja. There is one name. That is the name that you have to focus on. And that name is given to you by a Guru. So you have to go to a Guru to obtain that name. That name that's in your breath, only a Guru can connect you to it. So that you can then fully merge with Him. Because without Him, without God, then we are living the lives of the walking dead. As Jesus explained to Peter once, when he went to Peter and asked him, that Peter, what is your life? And Peter said, I'm a fisherman. I'm a fisherman, I catch fish, I sell that fish, I bring food home for my family. That is my life. Peter, this is not living. Jesus said, this is not life, I will show you what life is. Follow me. And Peter followed. And then as Peter was following Jesus, then a voice, somebody comes to him and says that, hey Peter, your father has died. And as I told you, on this path, there will always be things that will be trying to pull you away from your destination, from your goal. And as this happens, Peter turns away, feels a pull to go to his father's side, to do the responsibilities of a son. And then Jesus says to him, Jesus says, let the dead bury the dead. That those who have not been awakened, those who do not know their life's true purpose, those who have not seen God, those who have not fully realized who they are, who are fixated on the wants and needs of this body, who are fixated on these relationships of the world, those people are like the living dead. The walking dead, they walk, but they aren't truly alive. The truly alive are those who know Him. In the same way, Nicodemus asked Jesus about how we can enter into the kingdom of heaven, into the kingdom of God. Jesus says you need to be reborn. Nicodemus says that how can I be reborn? How can I re-enter the womb of my mother? And then Jesus explains, no, you need to be reborn of the water and of the Spirit. That only through the rebirth, that rebirth of the divine knowledge, that rebirth of that true holy water, not the outside holy water that you dip in and baptize, not that holy water that you drink and then put on your head when you do arati, not that holy water that you give to Buddha in 7 different glasses, not this external water the internal water. Not that water that you pour on a shivling. Because all these are external things. They're all illustration, all guide. But the truth is inside of us. They are signposts, they're illustrations. But that light and that holy water is inside. You need to know that truth. And then once you know that truth, then you can be called living. So my brothers and sisters, my message is clear to all of you, is that to truly be alive, to truly fulfill this purpose of this human life, we will need to know ourselves, to go beyond this body, beyond this mind, and go and know that soul. And for that, we will need that third eye, that eye that goes inwards, to be opened. And that eye can only be opened by a perfect master of the time. As much as I have great devotion towards Sri Ram cannot open this eye. As much as I have devotion to Sri Krishna Bhagwan cannot open this eye for me. Neither can Jesus, neither can Guru Nanak, because their time came and then they went. I have to go to the perfect master of this time. And the perfect master of this time is Sri Ma Swamiji and Sri Baba Swamiji Maharaj. And how can I say this with such conviction? Because they have proven themselves. They have passed that litmus test. Because they have shown God within me. They have opened that third eye, and by opening it, I have seen that divinity within myself, and I see it regularly. Every time I meditate, every time I focus, I see that light, I connect with God, and with that connection comes that peace, that beauty, that calmness, that peace that can only come when you unite with God. So my brothers and sisters, we may go out in this world believing that happiness can be found in material things or in relationships or in status or in work. But our scriptures, those who've come before us, have all understood one truth, that only God can bring happiness. So do not waste the time that you've been given, this precious time that you've been given. Come to the abode of a perfect master. And if you cannot find one, then there are one here in Lucknow, in Nandashram, who will give you that divine knowledge. And then guide you on that path so that you can see God and reunite with Him and fully connect with your true identity. So here, I would like to finish this satsang, this spiritual discourse, with a small prayer. मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल राम गुण गाने लगा मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल राम गुण गाने लगा ये माया है बहता पानी नारे राजा नारे रानी हम तुम सब की यही कहानी ये दुनिया है आनी जानी नाम नाम का सबसे सच्चा नाम नाम का सबसे सच्चा सबको यही समझाने लगा मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल राम गुण गाने लगा मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल राम गुण गाने लगा, मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल, राम गुण गाने लगा। राम नाम की धुन में बहकर, राम नाम की धुन में बहकर जीवन सफल बनाने लगा। मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल, राम गुण गाने लगा, मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल, राम गुण गाने लगा। राम है दीपक, राम है बाती, राम सभी का सच्चा साथी, राम सभी का पैता पाती। याद राम की कभी न जाती, राम भक्ति के मैं घर घर में, राम भक्ति की मैं घर घर में भक्ति दीप धमकाने लगा। मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल, राम गुण गाने लगा, मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल, राम गुण गाने लगा, मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल, राम गुण गाने लगा, मैंने छोड़ा जगत जंजाल, राम गुण गाने लगा। बोले माँ अष्टो श्यामी जी की जय, श्री बाबा अष्टो श्यामी जी महाराज की जय, श्री आशुतोष भगवान की जय, सच्चे दरबार की जय।